Are we gonna hit that wall again?
We might hit the wall again.
Delaware, okay, Delaware Scott. If you go beyond 1870, unless you were a freed slave, you couldn't be found in an 1860 census, right?
Right.
So he's got to be free.
Right.
That's pretty incredible.
Blair Underwood is in Virginia, researching another branch of his mother's lineage.
I'm back in Lynchburg with Joseph Shumway, who has been researching the White family for me. I understand you have information about Ada White, who's married to Harry Royal.
I was able to locate a death certificate for her mother, Mary White. She died here in Lynchburg in 1917.
County of Campbell, Lynchburg, born in 1862. Father was Delaware Scott. That's new information, I believe.
So what I'd like to do now that we have this name is see if we can identify Delaware Scott and his family in the U.S. federal censuses. So we're here at Ancestry.com. In the location, let's type in Campbell County, Virginia.
Let's see, hold on a second, let me see.
Yeah.
Easier.
I like to always check the 1860 census just in case we do get lucky and find an African-American ancestor in that census.
Click on here.
Uh-huh.
Are we gonna hit that wall again?
We might hit the wall again.
Delaware, okay, Delaware Scott. If you go beyond 1870, unless you were a freed slave, you couldn't be found in an 1860 census, right?
Right.
So he's got to be free.
Right.
That's pretty incredible. So how did you become free? 35, male, okay, so mulatto here.
Right.
Cooper? No, okay.
Cooper, right.
What is a Cooper?
A Cooper was a barrel maker. There was a lot of need for things to carry material in, so.
Now, tobacco was big around here, right? I mean, anything.
It was.
Value of real estate. So wait a minute, so he's 800. Oh, his real estate.
He owns real estate.
He owns real estate, so he was a property owner in 1860.
Right.
So these are all Scotts.
Right.
Julia A. Scott, William Scott. He's 35.
And this Judith woman, she's 67. Her last name's Scott.
Judith was probably Delaware's mother.
Possibly.
Possibly. I am loving this ride. Okay. It's really incredible to learn that my 3 times great-grandfather, Delaware Scott, was a free black man before the end of slavery and was a landowner to boot. Now I'm very curious. How did Delaware Scott and his mother Judith, who was also listed in the 1860 census, become free? To get some of my questions answered, Joseph suggested I head back to Richmond and meet with historian Dr. Eva Shepard-Wolf.
This is a register of free Negroes. And in it are names of people who came to the county clerk to register and prove their status as free Negroes, and that was the terminology of the time.
Right.
So it's more than what you would get in a census,
Sure.
for example, because there are some personal details.
Right.
So we're in
A little
1849.
more years. Delaware Scott, son of Judith Scott, dark mulatto, 26 years old, 5 feet 11 inches high, which is my height, born free. He was born free.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Well, so we know he was born free in the 1820s, which means his mother had to be free.
Is that a foregone conclusion?
That's a foregone conclusion,
Okay.
because your status comes from your mother.
Ah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So he was born free in
He was born free in 1823.
Okay.
And there were thousands of free blacks in Virginia in 1823.
Thousands?
Thousands.
Because you often hear about freed blacks during that period of time.
Right. In 1782, they passed a law that allowed anybody in Virginia who wanted to free a slave, as long as the slave was not a child and not elderly, which meant over 45, sorry to say, and if they did it by deed, so a deed like a deed that you would draw up to transfer land or something
Right.
like that, or by will. But this doesn't tell us anything about how his ancestors became free. We just know he was born free, which in fact Delaware was kept track of another time. And this one's from 1852.
Amherst County Clerk's Office, September 5th, 1852. Delaware Scott, there he is. Born free in the county of Amherst of ancestors free before the first day of May 1806, so 50 years prior to this.
Yes. So Delaware Scott's ancestors, your ancestors, free before 1806.
That's extraordinary.
First May 1806 refers to a specific law. It's actually very important that if you were freed after May 1st, 1806, you had to leave Virginia within 1 year. If they don't, they can be taken up by county officials and sold back into slavery.
What?
So the free black registers became, in addition to a way to just track people and kind of keep tabs on people, a way to make sure that people had a right to be in Virginia. These are also having to do with free Negro and slave records. You want to try to read that?
This is to certify that I was acquainted with Amy Umbles sent years or
60 years or upwards.
Or upwards. She had 2 daughters, Judd and Libby.
I think it's Tabby. I think it's a T.
Tabby.
I think that's
You're
Judy.
She married something Scott.
That's an S and that's an L, so it's an abbreviation for Samuel.
Okay, Samuel Scott. They were free persons of color. From my earliest acquaintance with them, I never heard their freedom called into question.
So Judy, Delaware Scott's mother, married Samuel Scott.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
this then is your great-great-great-great-grandfather. So now you have Delaware Scott's parents, both of them.
Right. Do we know why this was written?
This is Guy Lee, a white man of some respect in the community, a tradesman, coming to say, I know this family.
I'll vouchsafe for this family.
I'll vouch for them.
Right.
Ever since I knew them, for more than 60 years, they were free, back to the 1790s now. So
we were able to track all the way back to at least information to the late 1790s.
Right. The free people in the 1790s.
The free people in the 1790s.
1790s.
Free people in Virginia.
Yeah, 215 years ago.
That blows me away.
To have ancestors in the 18th and 19th centuries who were born free is a monumental discovery. I am so proud to be descended from this family. My 3 times great-grandfather, Delaware Scott, and his mother, Judith, both born free. And Delaware's father, Samuel, and his grandmother, Amy, who were living free in the Virginia South. It's remarkable.